Hello everyone, and thank you for being here. I am your Shakti guide, Helene Westlund, and I welcome you to the Shakti Flow Summit, where we learn how to embrace our feminine flow to receive more joy, balance, and energy in life. In this circle, no time exists, so everyone who watches or listens to this now or later are all included in the energy of this circle right now. And today we have a beautiful teaching expert. It's Heather Allison. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you, love. So happy to be here.
Oh, Heather Allison is a goddess coach, a divine feminine channel, an accidental cosmic shaman. She was plucked out of a normal life by what she calls her cosmic team to help women awaken their goddess within and find their love, soul, pleasure, and purpose that they are meant for. A coach, teacher, photographer, writer, and founder of the Goddess Army, she works with entrepreneurs, healers, light workers, and all soulful women who know they're meant for mythic love and life. So, I love that. Mythic love and life. What does that mean to you?
For me, that really is that there is a deep intrinsic part of who we are that has been slumbering for a really long time, that's been asleep, that's been kind of forgotten, both on purpose and not on purpose, but that it is responsible for, it is the part of us that knows how to have the life that we're meant to have. It's the part of us that knows how to follow our soul path. And in my view, our soul paths are mythic. They are massively important purposes why we're here. Our souls don't just come here just for like a holiday. They come here for really, important work. And most of us kind of forget what that is. And so this part of bringing ourselves home, bringing back our feminine archetype, which has been just forgotten for so many thousands of years, is part and parcel of us reconnecting to that mythic part of who we are, this massively important and massively like co-creative cosmic part of who we are, so that we can birth that here and follow suit, bring in the mission, the purpose, the work that we're meant to bring in.
Yeah. So feminine energy and feminine power, what does it mean to you?
For me, it really is an archetype, the archetype that lives within us as an energy pattern. We all have both masculine and feminine within us. I do believe that we are, most of us anyway, have a tendency to, or are intended to bring in one or the other more fully in this lifetime. So there are those souls that are meant to be bringing in more of the masculine energy in this lifetime, and there are those who are meant to be bringing in more of the feminine. And they each have a role, and it's really important to be honoring the role that we're bringing in, that we're intended to bring in. There are obviously those who bring in both, and are more and more and more of those. I think more of those souls are coming in, but most of us probably lean one way or the other. We always have both of them within us, but we do tend to feel better holding and embodying and bringing through the fullness of one or the other. That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So why is it so important for women of today to embody the feminine?
Well, quite simply because look at the world. look at what a disaster it's in. Everything that's going on in this world right now, everything that's going wrong in it, is because we've forgotten this part of ourselves. Men too. It's not just women. We've just quite simply forgotten the part of ourselves that this archetype, this energy, is the one that knows how to love, the one that knows how to connect, the one that knows how to embrace everything, rather than just driving forward and pushing through and building and structuring and organizing and all of that stuff. That's very necessary, and we actually needed it for the last however long, because we had to have society built, and we had to have our safety kind of constructed, right? Like medicines, society, civilizations, all that stuff. But we entirely forgot the feminine in that process. And so we swung completely out of balance. And now we're just kind of wounding ourselves over and over and over again by staying in only this masculine energy. And what we have to bring back, all of us, not just women, is this feminine. I always share with my clients that everything that we desire, literally everything that we desire: love, abundance, joy, connection with our intuition, passion, creativity, inspiration, everything that we desire actually exists on the other side, or in the feminine archetype. How we get there, how we co-create it, is the balance and the co-creation of the two. We have to have the masculine in order to take the steps to get there, but everything we desire lives in the mystery. And so if we're not tapping into that, then this is why we've been so removed from all of that for so long.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm actually writing that down. Yeah, well, I'm one of those women who embody mostly the feminine. I've always had a hard time fitting into our society. Do you have any tips on how I can integrate the more masculine energy?
Yeah, I'm actually giving a talk, and I know there is no time, but in this real time, I'm giving a talk next week, about this more, which is what I teach is essentially connecting really deeply with the feminine first, and then tasking the masculine with taking steps, taking action, but really relying on and connecting to the insights, the intuition, the messages. Do you see me pointing to my left side? The left side, and then tasking the right side, the masculine, with taking action. So it really is for you, because that space maybe isn't your forte, it's not what you're used to, I would say creating, and it's so funny because I used to be so much more comfortable in my masculine, all the doing, and I was really good at accomplishing and making sense of everything. And but that's the truth for most of us, because we've all been in this over masculinized world for so long that we didn't even know we were missing this part of ourselves. Now that I'm in the feminine and very much embodying that and embodying the union of the two, it sometimes can feel really hard to be like, I don't want more structure. And so I feel you. For me, what works for me, and I think this might work for you too, is creating what I call an open and loving container. So that might be, so just as an example, I give all my clients homework to create a morning practice. It is foundational to the work that we do, and allowing us to really connect to that feminine energy first by stepping into the space of yin yoga, meditation, tapping into your intuition, writing, which I feel on pen on paper is a very feminine practice, because it's embodied, right? It's bringing it into form. And the way I usually offer that is not to say right, for the first 10 minutes it looks like this, and the next 10 minutes it looks like this. It's just create a container, an open and loving container that's maybe a 30 minutes or 40 minutes or an hour, even if you can only do 15. Within that, flow. Within that, feel into what wants to happen in here. Feel into what would feel really good to start your day with. How does your body want to move? What does your soul call you to explore? Does that make sense?
Yes, and it's so funny because I rarely ever do a morning ritual, but this morning I did it for the first time, and I realized I have to do this every morning with a little bit of yoga and a little bit of meditation. And I didn't write anything in my journal, but I pull an oracle card and just, So.
And it can be any of that. That's perfect. And I will tell you, I fall off the wagon with mine too, but it is a life changer. It is a total game changer. When I'm in that practice and doing it consistently, everything flows. Everything makes more sense. Everything drops in so much more clearly. Yes. I struggle so much less. I feel like I bump up against walls so much less. Mm-hmm. And when I find myself feeling crunchy, inevitably I'll be like, why is this so crunchy right now? And I'll be like, well, because you fell off the wagon, you haven't been doing your morning practice, right? Time to get on the mat.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day, and I say it because of that.
Good.
When I was on your webpage, I noticed you wrote you were always an almost girl. I want to know what you mean about that, the almost girl.
Oh, my whole entire life, I feel like I don't even know how else to say it. Like, I was almost me. I was almost having the feeling the way I wanted to feel, like almost having what I was desiring, almost like I was always like liking the guy, when I was younger, especially, I liked the guy and he always liked somebody else. Or like, I think I shared some of this example on that site, on my site, which is I played soccer, but I played fullback. I never played forward. Do you know, it was always these kind of like, I'll stand back here, for whether it was my choice or happening to me. I feel like I was just always kind of like not quite there, not quite living me, not quite living what I was meant for. And I know a lot of that was due to, you know, so much of the wounded masculine that I teach, which is the judgment, self-judgment, the attempt to control, being afraid of what somebody would think about me, fearing stepping out of comfort zones, or fearing what might happen, or just all the stories and things like that. And really not having a clear connection to my intuition or to my body or to anything else. So I really wasn't able to navigate into what actually is me, what actually feels like me. Does that make sense?
Yes. And how did you get that awakening?
Sorry. It's such a funny story to me still. I mean, now looking back, I see all of these things that I was like, oh, it was happening this whole time, but I didn't have any idea. I mean, you might have seen this story too. I literally was in the dentist chair, high on nitrous, and at 36 years old, and I heard my soul yell at me. I'd done some work to connect to my soul, but I'd never had an experience like this. I was like, didn't know that I was intuitive. I was kind of thinking I was like sort of making it up. And then, and then I was high on nitrous in this dentist chair, and I heard my soul say, "You're almost 37. What the fuck are you doing?" And I was like, what? What? And I was in a relationship that wasn't going anywhere, that wasn't making me happy. I was phoning in my career. I didn't ever think that it was in my path to have a like work that I was passionate about. I thought I was just kind of going and getting a paycheck. And I was drinking way too much, trying to keep up with my boyfriend and his friends, all of this stuff. And I wanted to build a life with somebody. And so I started taking steps to change that. And as soon as I started saying yes to that voice, granted, I know not everybody's going to hear it quite that loudly or swearing at you like that. But I heard it before. I just wouldn't listen. I just wouldn't. And I mean, not hearing it, but I had the nudges. You feel things. You think this isn't quite right, but you're like, oh, but I'll talk myself out of it. But maybe he's got potential, or oh, I'll just wait. It's probably not possible for me to do this, or however it is that we always talk ourselves out of these things, our deepest truths. As soon as I started saying yes, everything started shifting. I found like the foundational work, kind of the mainstream breadcrumb type work that I now teach. It was kind of the starter into this work, and everything beyond that, as soon as I started exploring what the feminine actually meant, everything just started unraveling and cracking open for me. So much so that within a year, I was starting to talk to what I call a dead guy on the other side, a guy I call my cosmic teacher, who actually brings me a lot of the messages and information that I teach. So yeah, so it was fast.
Yeah, that was fast. And you have a tribe, you call it the Goddess Army. Tell us more about that.
So Goddess Army is actually in the process of changing right now. My baby, the signature journey is called the Golden Goddess, and it is the deepest version of Goddess Army. It's the one that I lead calls every other week and take us through. I teach kind of the insights and the information and the quantum understandings of the energy of these archetypes. I guide you through exercises, shamanic journeys, embodiment practices, and visceral experiences, so that we're actually bringing a lot of this kind of head candy down into our bodies and into our inner knowing, where we actually know and remember things and become them. And then private Facebook group and all that good stuff. But then there's also a more digitized version of Goddess Army as well. I really wanted this to be able to be in the hands of every single woman possible. So the Golden Goddess is really just for 15 women every year. The other versions are, self-studies or kind of the self-study plus a little bit of interaction with me. It's just not I just wanted everybody to be able to have this, no matter what lifestyle or budget they were working with. So Yeah.
Mm, yeah, and the golden energy is really coming on strong.
Mm-hmm.
I channeled it too in last week. It's special.
It is. I know. I was waiting for the name to drop in, and I was like, and it finally started coming. I was like, oh, well, of course, that's what it is.
Yeah, and you also use the word mermaid.
I do. I do. Well, and look at my, you can, it's
Yes,
splashing
the
my
water.
ocean behind me. Yeah, this is just a facet of this archetype that I really love, which is I love to describe the energies of these archetypes like the feminine is really, it is the ocean. The feminine really is flow. It is water. It is movement. It is uncontainable, but contained by the masculine land, if you will. But that's how we kind of co-create together. But we've been walking around on land for so long, being in this masculine paradigm, that we've forgotten not only that we are these mythical, goddessy, mermaidy creatures
Mm-hmm.
that love to swim. We've forgotten that we even have that within us. So I love to talk about the water, and I love to talk about that aspect of these archetypes, because it really does speak to flow and to both the softness and peace, but also power, massive power. You know, water is not a sissy. Water is not something that you know what I mean? It's got intense power to it as well.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's why I love to use that metaphor.
Yeah. But today you're doing an activity, meditation for us.
Yeah. Yeah. In service of, I felt like what might be a really good, I have no doubt that a lot of your audience is already fairly connected to the feminine, or at least explores it a little bit, not a stranger to the
Mm.
energy and to the work. But I thought it might be really powerful to drop us into the seat of the feminine, what I consider to be the seat of the feminine, which is the womb space, and our deeper knowing, deeper and very. I feel like there's a deep connection to our ancestral lineage, both of our own family and collectively, that kind of resides here. A
Yeah.
deep inner knowing that resides here.
Mm.
And so, in service of what we're bringing back, women in general, but also anybody who's intended to be holding this feminine archetype. I feel it might be really powerful just to reconnect to this kind of ancient knowing, this kind of forgotten part of who we are, by doing a bit of a shamanic journey down to this space.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing. So are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll have us just start by kind of centering in. If you're not already comfortable, get comfortable. I'm going to get more comfortable. And then go ahead and close your eyes. Hopefully you're not driving. And see if you can just invite your mind to still. Invite your body to soften, the muscles to release whatever it is they might be holding from your day. Maybe you reach around with your consciousness and gather up all the thoughts that might be swirling and spinning around in your head. And just gather it all up. Bring it back to you here. Maybe go ahead and put your hand, or even both of your hands. I really like to use my right hand on my womb space. Placing your hand on your lower belly, connecting masculine and feminine energy here. And see if you can drop your breath all the way down here. Expanding through your ribs in all directions, expanding your belly fully, letting it inflate and deflate. And imagine your breath dropping down and filling your sacral chakra, your sacral bowl. And see if you can also invite your consciousness to come down here as well. Drop your vision, your awareness, your consciousness down here, letting it sift down your midline like a feather floating to the ground. Coming to rest here in your sacral chakra, your sacral bowl. With your awareness squarely here in the lower half of your body, as if you're standing here in the center of your womb. As your eyes adjust here, your inner eyes, your inner vision, you start to notice the room take shape around you. Here, standing in the center of your womb, is your inner goddess temple, your womb temple. And just notice with all of your senses what this space is like. See how gorgeous, how beautiful it is down here, how amazing it feels to be here. Notice the beautiful color on the walls of the temple. Notice the delicious texture in the furnishings, in the floors. Notice the decorative touches. Maybe the space is deep and dark, maybe it's translucent and you can see light coming through. Maybe it's an interior room, maybe it's outside in nature. It can be anything. Just let yourself look around with your inner vision, your inner senses, even if you're not seeing. And just notice how resplendent this space is. How fit for a goddess. What scents are here? What sounds can you hear? What does your skin feel like standing in this temple? Take a nice deep breath, just breathing in and receiving and anchoring in everything that your senses are picking up. Everything that you want to notice and keep with you. In the center of the temple, you notice a table with a beautiful box sitting on top. You step closer and inspect the box a bit closely. It's exquisite. Just notice what color this box is, what it's made of, what details or decorations you notice. And you suddenly hear it calling to you, or feel it calling to you. And with that comes a deep knowing that inside this box is something you're being asked to remember about who you are. Something you're asked to bring home from this deep knowing, this deep wisdom, this deep ancient archetype of the feminine. You reach out to the box and open its lid and look inside. What is in there? Maybe you see something in your mind's eye. Maybe you know, simply know what it is. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a symbol, maybe it's a color. Whatever it is, whatever is asking to be found here, just let yourself receive it. What do you imagine this gift is asking you to remember? In whatever form this gift has shown up for you, reach in and lift it out with your hands. Pondering its message, feeling its message, receiving its message fully. And as you feel this item in your hands, in whatever form it has come, you notice this temple begins to slowly fade around you now. And you realize that you're meant to take this message with you and return to your waking mind with it. You see a door to the temple still visible behind you, and so you turn, thanking the space of your deep and ancient knowing, thanking all who have come before you, and all who will come after you. As you begin to return back up your midline with your breath, with your consciousness, and make your way back to your present mind, your wakeful consciousness. Back to our room, holding your message with you. As you feel yourself start to ascend, just take another deep breath here. Again, anchoring in, receiving fully the beautiful sights of your womb temple, the message of this beautiful gift. And start to allow your eyes to begin opening slightly, letting just a little bit of light in. Keeping your eyes soft, start to slowly raise your eyes to begin taking in the real room around you. Our video again. Take another deep breath here just to bring your energy back to center. Back to the rest of your body. Maybe move your spine. Move your fingers. Move your toes. Move your eyes.
Oh, thank you. That was a beautiful gift I got.
Good. What did you receive?
Yeah, I received a huge diamond-shaped amethyst. And when I held it in my hand, it turned into like a purple flame.
Wow.
Oh, that was sweet.
That's really, so I have to tell you what's really interesting about that, especially given what you shared with me earlier about the fact that you feel like the masculine is the harder part for you to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
I got chills on my right side, which is where my cosmic teacher speaks to me. So he brings in the divine masculine channel. My soul brings in the divine feminine. And anyway, so I got chills up and down. So I feel like there might be something for you there as far as something to feel into around the masculine.
Perfect. We'll work with that. Yeah, that was, I loved it. It was really nice. And the room was so plush.
Oh yeah, what did it look like?
It was dark red, rubies and gold, and it was actually a bedroom. So huge bed with cushions. Oh, it was so nice.
Good. I love that. That's the whole purpose, that we get to remember and re-embody. And like, there's so much trauma down here, isn't there? And it's like we get to reconnect with this space in such a beautiful and welcoming and nurturing and loving and deep remembering kind of way. There's so much to be found. There's so much gorgeousness and power and magic to be found there.
Yes, definitely. And it's a good practice as well, and doing it together with other women. It's been, well, the relationships between women has been so distorted the last thousands of years, basically. So it's so nice being together and helping each other and enjoying each other in another way than we've been able.
My sense of this right now is that there's so much of that being healed for the collective. The inner work that we do to come back to connectivity with our sisters, with women, and again, like, there's no time, right? So backwards and forwards in time, to all dimension, but really reconnecting again with the feminine, and repairing those wounds of distrust, of disconnection, of feeling like we're alone, or feeling shame around any part of who we are. All of those things are healing so powerfully right now, I sense, just in some of this deep work that we're doing as women. And one of the things that I just want to add to that is, one of the things I'm talking about next week is we have to be very careful not to be forgetting the masculine, because that's actually, so what I teach is that there are actually 4 archetypes that we're working with. There's the sacred 2, masculine and feminine, and then the wounded 2. And so when we're only focusing on the feminine and forgetting or rejecting a lot of the masculine, we just keep dragging ourselves back into the wound over and over and over again. And so bringing both of those into harmony, into their wholeness, and healing both of them together is where the fast tracking of our healing gets to happen.
That is so true. And you also have a little gift for the
I do.
listeners. Can you tell us a little about it, please?
Yeah. So this is really, I just felt called to kind of put together a taste of what this work is all about. So there's a bit of a transmission from me where I'm talking to you about audio, where I'm talking to you about this work, what this is about, why this even matters, why these archetypes have anything to do with anything, why they have to do with our actually having our deepest happiness in the lives that we desire. There's also a portion of the Goddess Army self-study, a portion of one of the actual modules, just to dive in, to give you kind of a sneak peek at it, I'm trying to remember what else is in there. There's an exercise, visceral exercise in there. There's a workbook. I think that might be it. But it's pretty juicy. I just really wanted to let people have a taste, like a full taste of what this is. I've had women reach out to me after that, like, I don't know what this was about, but I'm in tears and I need it.
The Goddess Manifesto is in there as well, isn't it?
Yes, thank you. That was the other piece. Thank you.
I love it. It's so beautiful. I really love it.
I do too. It's such a deep transmission of energy, and just letting yourself be bathed by these words, so that they actually awaken parts of your cells, parts of your body. And
they're not just words. It's so loaded. It's always so beautiful.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Love, this was so much fun. I'm so happy that we got to do this. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. It's been really lovely talking to you, and you had so much good things to say. I love it.
We ramble all day. I like once you get me started.
This is so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for this. And I think I speak for all the women listening that we will check out your gift. And did you say it was like a meditation or something in there?
There is a visceral, I don't know that there's a meditation. I have to look, sorry, totally, it's so funny. I don't remember. But there is a visceral exercise, which it can be a meditation. It can be a meditation, but it's also something that you can practice in your day-to-day, especially as you kind of get used to it. You can actually kind of carry it with you and bring back that frequency over and over again. And it's really a delicious embodiment practice.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you for today, and good luck with everything. And I'm sure I will talk to you again someday. So
I love that. Thank you, love.
Thank you.